mean, look, Eubank's playing a blinder for the promotion of the fight. I mean, a little bit annoying. I mean, unfortunately, if I could fight, I'd want to give him a slap myself, but that's not going to happen. So, Conor's fired up. I memean, honestly, I've never seen someone put themselves through what he's putting himself through in training camp.
Yeah, maybe then you just don't know. Maybe where does he go from there if Conor beats him? I'm not trying to say Conor's any less of him, but yeah, Chris is obviously the guy who should beat him because he's a lot heavier, maybe more seasoned, but you know.
One of the leading voices in British boxing, Barry Hearn, painted this bout as monumental, not just big, but potentially one of the biggest to ever happen in England. That's not just promotion talking. The historical relevance, the family saga, and the raw anticipation mean this fight could have filled a stadium many times over. The magnitude of this event isn't just about two fighters, it's about a story decades in the making.
I think it's going to be a massive fight. I think it's arguably one of the biggest fights ever to take place in England. The personalities, the backstory between the dads, everything works to make this humongous. We could have sold 500,000 tickets.
Hearn also didn't shy away from the emotional weight behind Benn's involvement. After years of setbacks and controversy, Benn is stepping into the ring with more than a fight on the line. He's carrying 2 lost years, anger, and a need for redemption. Yet even with that passion, Hearn respects Eubank's size and ability, suggesting a perfect 50-50 battle. It's a true clash of style and story.
I think I'm with Conor Benn on this. I think he's gone through more than enough in his life, which has now been completely exonerated. What a waste of 2 years of a young man's life. He's got a point to prove, but Eubank is the bigger man. So I see it as a 50-50 fight, and I believe that Conor Benn can knock out Eubank Jr.
Benn's preparation tells a story of obsession. Footage from his training shows him pushing his body to extremes, using altitude masks and intense techniques rarely adopted in mainstream boxing. It's a reflection of a man not just training to win, but to outwork and outthink his opponent. In this case, effort meets innovation in pursuit of an edge. Eddie Hearn, never one to hold back, highlights Eubank Jr.'s role as the master of mind games. He may be annoying, even promoters, but it's working. However, what stands out as Hearn's awe of Benn's dedication his punishing camp routine is unlike anything he's seen. For Hearn, it's not just physical, it's personal.
I can't wait. I mean, look, Eubank's playing a blinder for the promotion of the fight. I mean, a little bit annoying. I mean, unfortunately, if I could fight, I'd want to give him a slap myself, but that's not going to happen. So, Conor's fired up. I mean, honestly, I've never seen someone put themselves through what he is putting himself through in training camp.
The promotional fire continues to grow as Hearn describes Benn like a caged animal ready to explode. Despite being undersized, Benn's heart, hunger, and raw aggression make up for any physical disadvantage. Sharing a camp with his legendary father has only fueled that fire. This isn't just a comeback. It's a mission to dismantle Eubank Jr.
He's going to be like a caged animal when the bell goes on April 26th. A big disadvantage in size, but he makes up for it in attribute, hunger, youth, tenacity, volatility, and he is in camp with his dad, grafting and dreaming every day of violating Chris Eubank Jr. on April 26th and doing it in spectacular fashion. And I can't wait.
Frank Warren, normally a rival to the Hearns, couldn't hide his excitement either. To him, this is poetic sons picking up where their fathers left off, continuing a saga that once captivated the nation. Warren wants Benn to win, but more importantly, he recognizes the importance of this bout in British boxing folklore. It's nostalgia reimagined.
I wanted to let him out the cage. Let him out the cage and let him at him. I want Colin to win the fight. I want him to win the fight. I think it'd be great for him to win the fight. It's rivalry going back to their fathers. Obviously, it's been a big part of British boxing, British sport over the years, and the
tension has evolved. According to Eddie Hearn, what began with mutual respect has transformed into pure animosity. The sons of Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. are no longer honoring legacies. They're trying to destroy each other. The past has created this present, but now it's personal and the respect is gone.
I think even before the first fight, which was 2 years ago now, that fell through, there was rivalry, but there was respect. You know, they were their father's sons, and we're walking in the footsteps of our fathers. Now it's pure hate.
Eddie again emphasizes how Benn has weaponized that hatred. This isn't just another training camp, it's total immersion. Benn is obsessed with Eubank Jr. His every move in camp focused on dismantling the man in front of him. Hearn is convinced that once the bell rings, Benn's electricity, and venom will light up the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
And that's why I think Connor's carried a lot of that into training camp. He wants to do a job on him. He really does. And he sleeps, eats, breathes Chris Eubank Jr. And he'll be ready for what will be a spectacular night at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. From when that first bell goes, it is going to be electric.
Frank Warren brings perspective to the age and stage of both fighters. Eubank Jr. at 36 calls himself the next gen, which Warren mocks, while Benn is seen as the rising force. Though Eubank has experience, Warren questions if we've even seen Benn at his best yet. It's a fascinating juxtaposition of youth and maturity.
They're the two, they're their kids. One is 36 years of age now. He's the bigger guy over Connor. I think Connor has obviously shown what he wants to do. Have we seen, I don't think we've seen the best of Conor Benn yet, and I hope that's the case. I've seen Chris Eubanks at the age of 36. The next generation, I think it's a bit of a liberty to call himself the next generation at the age of 36, because I must have half a chance being the next generation. It's a cool fight that's caught everybody's imagination, and we'll all be tuning in to watching it.
Darren Till, an outsider from MMA, echoes what many insiders feel this is a 50-50 war. While logic says Eubank should win due to size and experience, the passion and uncertainty surrounding Benn make it unpredictable. The intrigue lies in the what if, and if Benn pulls it off, it changes everything.
Yeah, maybe then you just don't know. Maybe where does he go from there if Conor beats him? I'm not trying to say Conor's any lesser, but yeah, Chris is obviously the guy who should beat him because he's a lot heavier, maybe more seasoned, but you know.
Darren Till builds on the uncertainty of this fight. While many consider Eubank the more experienced and physically dominant fighter, Till leans toward Benn, hinting at Eubank's possible motivations, maybe his financial, maybe legacy, or maybe just ego. The key takeaway is the unpredictability. Even insiders aren't sure which way this one goes. That suspense is what makes this matchup special. It's not a sure thing for either side.
It's definitely a 50-50 fight in my eyes. I think Conor's going to beat him. So yeah, you can see where that thought process comes from. But you know, who knows? I don't know, Chris likes to play poker a lot, so maybe comes back for the money or something. Don't know.
Simon Jordan takes a different stance. He's not sold on the legitimacy of this fight. He criticizes the entire premise, suggesting it leans heavily on their fathers' reputations instead of current merit. While he acknowledges the media hype and public excitement, he feels both fighters should be chasing real titles in their proper divisions. To him, this fight feels more like theater than sport A sentiment shared by purists who crave substance over spectacle.
No, I'm not. No, I can't be inconsistent. I can't be dishonest and a hypocrite. I've said from the outset that I didn't like the fight. I felt it was a fight built upon other people's legacies. I understand what it's turned into. I understand the furore and the interest, and I understand the point that Eddie Hearn's making. If you ask Frank Warren what he thinks of it, he doesn't think much of it. People might say that's because he's not involved in it. But I would like to see Conor Benn fighting at 147 and winning a world title in that weight class, and I'd like Eubank, who I think is a brilliant showman and a great raconteur, fighting for a world title at 160 or 168.
Carl Frampton echoes Jordan's concerns, but admits the spectacle is irresistible as a boxing purist. Even he can't deny the allure. The match might not be for a world title, but it has an X factor that draws people in. For Frampton, the intrigue lies in how this fight taps into nostalgia while still offering something fresh. The generational pull mixed with genuine hate has made it must-see TV, even for skeptics.
Well, it's going to be a massive event, but I mean, I agree with some of the stuff you're saying. I would like to see Eubank fight and win a world title at 147. I would like to see, Conor Benn. I would like to see Eubank stay at, I think 160's hurting him now. I would like to see him fight at 168. But the appeal of this fight is massive. It's just something that, I mean, it's even got my attention. Like, and I see myself as a boxing purist, but I can't wait for fight week. I think there's going to be chaos.
Yeah.
And then I can't wait for the fight.
Frampton also raises real questions about the weight situation. Eubank, at 160 or even 168, has struggled in recent bouts. Frampton points out that as fighters age, weight cuts get harder. Eubank Jr. fighting under strict weight terms could become a hidden disadvantage. This rehydration clause might hurt him more than people realize, turning what seems like a physical advantage into a potential liability on fight night.
I want to see what Chris Eubank looks like on the scales. I think that his last few fights have been at 160, but he has fought at 168. I think as you get older, rather than coming down the weight, you should be going up the way. It's harder for your metabolism. Your metabolism slows down. It's harder for you to make the weight. I want to have a look at him. I think the weight's hurt him now, and this rehydration clause, I think.
Adam Smith gives us insight into both camps, pointing out that while the Hearns are fully behind Benn, Eubank seems to be winning the public narrative. He's played the media game brilliantly, staying composed and clever during press conferences. Meanwhile, Benn is desperate for victory. Smith wonders if that desperation will drive Benn to exceed expectations or cause him to crack under pressure. The mental game is clearly in play.
Great stories out of both camps. Of course, Barry is going to back his man from Matchroom. I spent some time with the Hearns last week, and yeah, they fancied Conor big, but Chris Eubank Jr. I think has won the press conferences so far. He is the guy that's fought at the higher level and the higher weight, but Benn wants this badly. He's absolutely desperate for it. So I don't know. I really don't know. I want to see them on fight week. I wonder if Conor will actually be more suited to the sort of slightly higher weight, more natural for him now, a couple of years on from when they were.
Smith then reflects on Eubank Jr.'s recent defeat to Liam Smith, noting it still casts a shadow. Though Eubank avenged that loss, questions remain about his durability and whether that first fight revealed a vulnerability. On the other hand, Benn has yet to prove himself at this level. It's a battle between a known but flawed quantity and a wild card full of unknowns but limitless hunger.
First meant to meet, but Eubank Jr., I mean, he's stylish and he's skillful. And if that Liam Smith defeat, which worries me a bit for Chris, if that's sort of part of the past, that the rematch was emphatic for Eubank Jr., but it wasn't Liam's night really, and he had an injury going into it. So that defeat that Eubank suffered worries me a bit, but he's fought in better company, and Conor Benn's got it all to prove. But if there's one guy that wants it more, it's Conor Benn. There's no doubt about that.
Adam Smith continues by comparing this rivalry to their fathers. Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn were masters of the mental game, often trying to outwit each other before ever throwing a punch. That tradition continues here. While Eubank Jr. may appear smoother and more composed, what truly matters is what happens in the ring. Tactics, strategy, and corner advice could define this fight just as much as fists.
A bit like their fathers, isn't it? You know, Chris Senior was always trying to tie Nigel up in knots in their press conferences. It's going to come down to what happens in the ring, of course. Eubank has been smooth and he has won the upper hand. However, on the night, it may come down to tactics.
Nigel Benn, speaking from a father's pride, expresses unwavering belief in his son. He claims Conor is far more talented than he ever was, not just in aggression, but in technical skill. To him, this fight won't go the distance. He's predicting a knockout within 4 rounds. That's not high-pitched the voice of a man who has seen the inner workings of his son's camp and believes deeply in his evolution.
And I know he would do that. I'm 100% confident in Conor doing that. I'm so relaxed, so sure. I know what my son can do. He's actually the best, a much better fighter than me. I could never box like Conor. I was just going in and have a bang. I just want to have a war. But Conor's got all him in his locker, mate. Every single thing. I'm so confident. I don't see it going past 4 rounds.
Nigel doubles down with full conviction. He talks like a man who's already seen the outcome. To him, Eubank Jr. has poked the bear and now he's in for it. Benn Sr. isn't just hopeful, he's certain. His certainty speaks to a deeper narrative. The belief that this fight is destiny, that it has to end violently, and that Conor will emerge not just victorious, but dominant. The family legacy depends on it.
He's poked the bear. I just know what's going to happen. Listen to me. I'm telling you, this does not go past 4 rounds.
Okay, we got it.
I'm telling you, no, you're going to be done. For sure, 100% sure. So confident in what my son can do.
The battle between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is more than a fight. It's a living, breathing continuation of a rivalry that defined an era. It's been shaped by press conference mind games, brutal training camps, old wounds, weight cuts, and unfinished business. Critics might question the merit of this matchup, but the truth is undeniable. It's captured the public's imagination in a way few fights can. It's legacy versus redemption, calm versus chaos. And when the bell rings, decades of tension will be unleashed in just a few brutal rounds. If you're as invested in this rivalry as we are, don't miss a second of what's coming. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for more breakdowns, fight previews, and boxing storytelling only here on Box Hub, where every punch has a past and every fighter has a legacy to protect.